What's up guys, it is Nick also here today. Today we're here with some Warframe, and recently the Steel Path update just dropped. Now what is the Steel Path exactly? Well, that is Warframe's quote-unquote hard mode, and let me tell you, it's honestly really not that hard. Now, to be fair, they didn't say this was endgame content. They didn't say this was the endgame that all us vets were looking for. This is just, how do you want to say, a new game plus of sorts. It's actually an okay mode. I really like the challenge, and the best thing that it brings satisfaction to me is that it makes my former for all my weapons mean something in a way. So, I don't have to build and, use all these meta weapons and former it for no reason. Steel Path makes my former kind of worth it in a way, instead of me doing these hypotheticals. And if my weapon can reliably kill Steel Path enemies, then I know it's a pretty good weapon. So yeah, hard mode is basically, or Steel Path I should say, is basically going over here. You're going to have these two little options here. It's going to be Origin System Normal and Origin System Steel Path. Now for Steel Path, enemies gain plus 100 armor, plate plus 100 levels, plus 250 health, shield, and armor. But on the flip side, for Archwing, they only get plus 50 levels and they do not get the health, shield, and armor bonus. Now, for something like Montes on Venus for whatever, or if you go to Earth and do something like Erpo or anything like that, they're just going to be level 51 to 56. No ridiculous armor scaling modifiers, because Archwing is not the greatest, and they don't have the best mods when it comes to stuff like primaries, secondaries, and melees. So, it's just plus 50, and, if you have a good Archwing, a good weapon, maybe like the Kuvla Yanga, then, mobile defense, Archwing missions, whatever, is going to be a breeze. Now, for hard mode, what you gotta do to unlock it is that you gotta beat the entire star chart on the normal difficulty. That means everything. If you have arbitrations unlocked, then you basically have Steel Path unlocked. Now, to get Steel Path, you'll want to go to the relay and talk to Teshin in the Conclave room, or now that they want to call it Teshin's room or the Steel Path room or whatever. And he's going to tell you, hey, are you ready for the Steel Path? You're just going to say yes, and boom, you unlock the Steel Path right here. Now, the thing about the Steel Path is that it's not really worth it, but we'll get to that in just a bit. Now, what we're here for is actually the best Warframes on the Steel Path, so let's jump right into the list. A shock to literally absolutely nobody, the first Warframe that was showing off with the Steel Path today is going to be Baluch. Now Baluch honestly is a pretty insane Warframe, and he has not been getting the use that he deserves up until now. He is insane in Steel Path. Now let me tell you, his restraint meter goes down extremely quick in Steel Path with the amount of enemies shooting at you, the amount of enemies he can disarm with his little I even forgot, Desolate Hands, that's what it's called. And then you also have a lull and a loot. You just have plenty of ways to deal with all the enemies in Steel Path. You can one-shot almost every corpus. You can destroy Gunir, destroy Infested. Basically any enemy that you put Baluch up against, he will destroy. Now, he is insanely more powerful when you combine the Venka Prime with all the Gladiator mods that you can put on there. So that way you can get the, different combo buffs and everything. So he is actually insane. He does a crap ton of damage. And, if you build the Venka up to 12 times combo and switch to Desert Wind, every hit is going to be a red crit. So, that's going to be something that's called crit swapping or whatever. It's a term I use from Borderlands. If you ever played Borderlands, you know the term crit swapping. But yeah, Baluch, this is very insane. Here's the build that I have currently on Baluch. It is only 4 former. Reactive Storm is a must, because that is what destroys everything in the Steel Path. If you don't have Reactive Storm, you're not really going to be doing a whole lot of damage. Now, this build surely could use another former or two. You could probably replace this with Steel Charge instead of Corrosive Projection. That'll probably be a much better choice. But he is absolutely insane. So I highly recommend Baluch. If you do not have Baluch, you're highly missing out. Buy him from the Platinum store, farm him from the Profits. I don't even know where he drops from. He's somewhere in Fortuna he drops from. So get Baluch, You're not going to regret it. The second Warframe for the Steel Path Solo is going to be Cora. Now, is there really anything I need to say about Cora? Like, you all know how nasty she is. Especially with this new deluxe skin. I mean, look at her. She is straight baddie. That is all I gotta say. But yeah, Cora, insane. Her Whip Claw, best one in the game. No question about it. Now, what makes Cora so good? The fact that melee weapons scale with Whip Claw. Especially the fact that you gotta take in that Riven mods work for Whip Claw. But let's not get into that discussion, because I'm pretty sure this might be a glitch, and this is going to get patched out. I don't know. Maybe this has been in the game for way too long. But if they nerf the Zorus, they gotta nerf this, or bring the Zorus back. If not, come on DE, just bring the Zorus back. It really was not overpowered, because Rivens are much stronger. This is even a good Riven. You need a 5 out of 5 to make Whip Claw truly shine. Even with a Riven like this, it still beats Zorus. I'm pretty damn sure. But yeah, it's pretty insane. Core, let's just get into the meat of the build. Now, we just have accumulating Whip Claw. That is the start of the show right here. Especially if you have a good efficiency build, maybe reach 175. If you can reach 175, that'd be great. But, you know, I don't want to go below 100% power strength. But this will one-shot almost every enemy in the Steel Path. You can go more strength if you want to put on Power Drift or whatever. But Core will absolutely shred the Steel Path. No question about it. If you get a Riven, that's insane, 5 out of 5. Disposition, put that on there. Get a crit chance, crit damage, and melee damage. You're sitting pretty for a Riven. And you basically got the ultimate core setup of the century. Now, core is just, her 1 will carry you through every mission. The amount of range, damage, everything that it does cannot be competed with. Well, maybe Baluch, but Baluch is a different story. Cora is less management and for a lot more payoff. I mean, not for a little bit of payoff, sorry. She requires less effort for a little bit less amount of payoff. Baluch will shred, but Cora by herself, if you don't have Baluch, get a Cora. She's a little bit easier to farm in my opinion from regular Sanctuary Onslaught, and you don't have to go to the Orb of Valis and do whatever it is you have to do to get Baluch. Cora is probably one of the best Warframes in the game. I would say top 2 for best Steel Path Warframes. Now, for the third best Steel Path Warframe, that is going to be Neja or Neja, Nuja, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Neja is insane for Steel Path, even though I really did not expect him to be. I expected Neja to kind of like be sort of average, but then when I took Neja into the Exterminate mission that you're seeing in the background, gameplay maybe, it is insane. Neja just does so much damage, can do so much for the team, and is a great damage buffer. Now, why is Neja a great damage buffer? Well, that's just because of the 2 that he has, Blazing Shotgun. Now, if you just read on the 3rd line here, it says damage vulnerability 184%. That means they will take 184% more damage. They will take a lot more damage, and they will also have a chance to drop energy orbs on death and health orbs on death. Plus, if you combine this with Weeping Shotgun, and it bounces between enemies, it gets stronger and stronger, dealing a whole ton of damage, and will drop a lot more health orbs for you as well. If you put in here Equilibrium as well, you'll basically never run out of energy or health. Plus, your 3, Ultimate Tank, you basically absorb as much damage as you want. The more damage you absorb, the more damage overall you'll be able to tank before you have to recast. Therefore, the 3 is insane. I keep saying therefore, but Neja overall insane. Once you combine her 4 and his 4 and his 2 together, it's just going to keep bouncing all the way, doing a ton of damage, a ton of fire damage over time, and they're going to drop a ton of health orbs and a ton of energy orbs. Neja overall is probably one of the best Warframes for Steel Path for a solo, because you don't really have to think much. Just throw your 2, do some melee, and go at it. Now, one of the next best Steel Path Warframes, that is our buff girl, Heldren. Heldren, you can get it from, I think, the Exploiter Orb? It's one of the orbs in Orb Valis, but yeah, you can get this from one of the orbs in Orb Valis. Heldren is one of the most underrated, underused Warframes I've ever seen in the entire game. Nobody ever talks about Heldren, but let's not talk about that because she is insanely good for the Steel Path. Now let me tell you why. Her 2, it's her 2. Pillage is absolutely nuts. It strips pure armor from every enemy in the game, or shields, however you want to call it. If you can get this over 100% power strength or whatever, or 71% drain, maybe get it to 85, maybe 80, you can actually push this to 100%, but the magic number would have to be like 400% power strength, and you can't really get over 300 in this game. So unless you have, outside means you have glowing power, you have a bunch of arcanes, you can actually get Pillage to strip all armor off of a Grineer heavy gunner, or out of anyone, making her extremely potent to one-shot every enemy in the game. No matter what it is, a level 150 Grineer, gone. A level 200 heavy gunner, gone. As soon as you strip all that armor, they're basically as good as dead. Now, Blazing Pillage, you don't really have to use Blazing Pillage. You can actually replace this with Balefire Surge if you want, or you can just replace this with another, mod or of your choice. Place within a power strength mod if you want. That's all up to you. And yeah, Hooligan for Steel Path is absolutely nuts. And you're gonna see a bunch of gameplay in the background of me, doing a bunch of Corpus Exterminates, and she's basically gonna be one-shotting almost everything in the game. Hooligan, do not sleep on Hooligan. Get her as soon as possible. She shreds the Steel Path if you're solo, or maybe if you want to be by yourself, or I basically was redundant there, but she is insane. Do not sleep on Hooligan. Everybody has been sleeping on her for the longest time, and I think her time is now. Hooligan is here to take over the reins as one of the best Steel Path Warframes, possibly the best for any endurance run in the entire game. And finally, for the last Warframe in the list for best Steel Path Warframe, it is my personal favorite Warframe in the game, color me biased, yes, but it is going to be Wisp. Now, I like Wisp for multiple of reasons, not just for one particular reason, but yeah, I really do like Wisp. She's probably one of the best Warframes in this game. I would say breaking close to S+ tier. Probably, she's most likely A+ tier, but she's insane. And why is she insane? Well, it's not because of, not because she has some crazy damage. Well, she actually does have crazy damage. She doesn't bring anything spectacular to the table. But all I gotta say is that her 3, best target mob clear in the game, in my opinion. Very, very extreme amounts of damage can come out of Wisp in her 3. Her 3 is absolutely insane, and I think it's very important to highlight how good her 3 is. We like to call Wisp and her 3 Breach Surge one of the weakest abilities, but like, if you play Wisp, you know how strong this ability is. Now let's get into my build for her. Her build is 6 Former. It is a very intense build. Not really good arcanes going on. If only I had good arcanes, and this build would basically be almost perfect. But Wisp has basically on-demand invis, insane healing buff, insane crowd control, insane DPS buff with her haste most or whatever, haste mode, making you reach up to insane levels of attack speed, insane levels of health regen, and a stun, an electric proc that stuns every single enemy over and over. Enemies cannot move when you're Wisp. When you're Wisp, you just get next to them and they're just going to be stun locked. Now, if you get in there, put your 2 and your 3 together, cause a Breach Surge, do a bunch of damage, she can room clear like nothing. Wisp is actually insane, and I would say Wisp is personally the best Warframe in the game for me, in my personal opinion. I really do love Wisp. If you can get Wisp, which you can get her from the Lopolo list, or whatever you want to call it, the sentient boss on Jupiter, Wisp is going to be one of the best Warframes to Steel Path. Her 3 actually also gets stealth multipliers, so when you use her 2 and her 3, you're sometimes going to be seeing something like 1,000,000 damage maybe. And you're gonna one-shot groups of mobs by just doing damage. So yeah, Wisp and her 3 Breach Surge. I hope Breach Surge or one of these abilities gets an augment one day. But yeah, Wisp, my personal favorite Warframe. And that is basically it. Yeah, she's probably the best, and you're gonna see why I think she's the best in the gameplay in the background. Now, if you guys like the video and found it informative or helpful in any way, shape, or form, please be sure to leave a like and leave a subscribe. I'll be making a little bit more Warframe videos, or maybe just gaming videos in general. But next video, we'll be talking about why the Steel Path kind of sucks. So, if you guys really did enjoy, please make sure to leave a like and leave a subscribe. My name is Nick also, and I'll be seeing you guys later.